Hey everyone, Tiazla here on freebreakdanceclasses.com. So it is time for another video, and from my living room to yours, big hugs. Before we start, so here's what we're going to be learning today. The question, I don't know if we're going to learn it, but we're going to talk about it. The question that came up from somebody, I've been doing a lot of Rachel Brice videos lately, what I call them Rachel Brice combos because she does them a lot. And then somebody asked the question, well, how about the famous back bend of Rachel Brice? Well, on that one, the funny thing is, it came out, the question, or me doing some of the Rachel Brice's combos, I guess came out at a really good time because I have not been doing back bends for the longest time because of a serious back injury. I mean, serious, like it was really bad to the point where I just couldn't even be able to bend to sit down to pee. Like I had to put a bucket between my legs and stand up and pee. That's how bad it was. So it was pretty serious. Like any back bends of any sort, including even just simple sitting, was excruciating pain. So finally, after a few years of straightening, working on my abs, and working on my back muscles, I'm kind of at the point where I could do a little bit of leaning back, It's still a little bit painful, it's not as good as it used to be, it would never be as good as it used to be. Then maybe I can answer some of the questions. So I can help you get through it. I don't know if I can do it perfectly as I used to. I used to do a perfect Rachel Brice back bend back in my old days, maybe 8 years ago before my injury. So I'll try and see what I can do today's video to kind of show you that you can, in fact, do it. In fact, you can actually even do it with some limitations. Now, what does it take to be able to do a Rachel Brice back bend? For those of you who, first of all, don't know what Rachel Brice back bend looks like, check out some videos. But it looks something like this, where her entire back is flat, or the upper body is flat, head up still, and she looks very comfortable. And then she does this thing with the arms. And then she brings it up from there, really slowly. In fact, if you watch a lot of Rachel Brice videos, you know that she never comes up really fast because that's dangerous. One reason, but also the other reason is a lot of her music is really kind of nice, slow, steady kind of beat, so she can't come up really fast. So anyways, how to do that? It looks excruciating. I'm not doing it perfectly. Please notice from this what I just did, it's not perfect Rachel Brice because I just can't. It really is extremely painful still. Not as bad as it used to be, but still painful. So make sure you watch her videos to see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, technically how you can do that. If you have a sane back, if you have a really healthy back, you can actually do this move with your feet together. But in order to do it with 2 feet together, you really have to have a nice arch in your back naturally. If you don't have an arch, excuse me, I'm just burping here. If you don't have a nice arch in your back and actually your spine goes a little bit lower, closer to your hips, this is going to be extremely hard for you to do. So first of all, make sure you know what your limitations are as far as how your body is built, and then you can go from there, okay? So again, if you have a nice big arch in your back, you can do the moves with 2 feet together. If you don't have an arch in your back and your spine is a little bit lower, you are going to need to open your legs a little bit wider than the hips, okay? Like this, almost like this. And if you guys watched what I just did, I did this. And the reason I did it is not because I have the arch, or I don't have the arch, like I was just telling you, but actually because I have a back injury. And my injury is actually a lower back injury where one of my discs is out to the side. So that makes it really painful to go down using my lower back muscles. So for those of you who do have a lower back injury, you also are going to need to open your legs a little bit wider than your hips. So again, to summarize, if you have a big arch in the back and you don't have no back injuries, you can do it with your feet together. If you have a back injury and still an arch, or if you have no arch but no back injuries, or both together, whatever, you figure out your combo, then you are going to need to open a little bit wider, okay? So that's the first thing. Now from there, you're going to work, the second thing is, so that's your basic stance, right? Now what does it take to be able to lean back like that? It takes 2 things. Make sure your lower back muscles are strong, and the way to do that is by strengthening your lower abs. And there's a lot of different exercises out there in the world to do to make sure that your lower abs are strong. So that's key. Now, you don't just use your lower back. Your lower back obviously gets a lot of that weight because the entire upper body from basically above your lower back to your head is going to have to lean back, which means something is going to carry that weight, and it really is your lower back and lower ab muscles. So those are the first to get stronger. However, in order to be able to hold a good frame once you lean back, because it's one thing to be able to lean back. Okay, so like, let's say, here we go, lean back. Do I look good? No. In order to get that nice flat look, you know, because if you watch Rachel Brice do her back bend, her entire upper body is flat. The reason she does that is because she uses her upper back muscles to hold herself straight. If I didn't use my upper back muscles, I would drop my entire upper back, and then my head is going to go with it, and it doesn't look good. It looks like you're choking almost, you know, it looks like, and it feels like choking. So how do you do it? How do you keep that nice back flat, straight, and because she looks relaxed, and you want to look relaxed while you're dancing? Well, the way to do that is definitely work on your upper back muscles, because that is what's going to hold you straight, okay? So there's lots of exercises. Push-ups are amazing. Any weight exercises where you do like shoulder presses or like side elbow lifts, these guys right here, or even like just standing back rows, all those work your upper back muscles. So you are going to need to work your upper back muscles to be able to hold that nice, still, you know, steady, you know, torso as you go back. Another trick that I like to tell people, and I usually like to tell people that when you do this move, your chin goes up. And a problem is a lot of times people, when they do the Rachel Brice back bend, is that they let their head drop back, and that just not just like it feels bad, but it also looks back. So when you go down, make sure you go down with your head still up, like that. Okay, either forward like this or straight up. It takes a little bit of control to do that. I do have a trick for you guys though to be able to do this, and it is what I like to call holding something like between your chin and your throat, I guess. So what I like to do is like use anything that's soft. Don't use something that's hard. Make sure you use something soft. This is a nice soft orange. Beautiful orange. I'm going to juice this baby later. So what I do is I would like squeeze it between my chin, and make sure it's something that's big enough that it would fit there, depending on obviously how long your neck is. I don't have a long neck, so I could use whatever. So I'm going to put this guy right here, and as I go down, I'm going to try to hold it. Okay? So go down and hold it. And just keep it there. If you drop your head, it's going to fall. So it just kind of gives you something to hold on to try to like imitate that motion. Okay? Because it gives you better control and really keeps your chin up. And it gives you kind of like a better look. And because, remember, this kind of move you can do to the side because it looks better, but you can also do it to the front. I mean, sometimes you find yourself like this, which means you got to look at your audience, which means your head is going to stay up, you know? So you can't drop your head back, okay? So, key thing to remember. And that's just a nice little trick to do. So, that is really the basic work. Make sure your lower back is strong, and then just keep your feet together if you have a nice arch. If you don't have a nice arch, make sure that you open your legs together. If you have a back injury, especially a lower back injury, please make sure you open your legs a little bit wider than the hips. And then from there, really just try to push your knees down forward, and then lean with your upper body, but do keep your face facing forward. You know, keep something in front of you to look at. You know, like a little something in between helps, but you can also keep something in front of you to look at it, and just keep that, keep that, keep that. And then really, once you get to that point where you feel like, okay, so this is as far as I can go, take a deep breath. Take a nice deep breath, and then really feel comfortable. Once you're there in that position, you feel like, oh yes, I got it. Make sure you work your arms a little bit. And if everybody knows how Rachel Brice does her back bend, she does this beautiful, famous Rachel Brice arms, where she has like one in the front, one in the back. So you kind of go back like this. And then when she comes up, it's really slow. Kind of like that, really slow and controlled. Of course, she's in pain. Of course, she's working those muscles really hard, but you have to have the facial expressions that makes it look like it's easy. Okay? So, hopefully these little tips helped you be able to do it, and really you can do it. As long as you don't have a severe back injury, you really can do it. So just give it a try, but be very, 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 very careful and very patient. Okay? So hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully these tips helped you out. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you next time in the next videos on freeballydanceclasses.com. Bye-bye.